Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into something that's both super common and, well, deeply unsettling. That feeling of a wobbly tooth. We're going to treat this like a real detective story because a loose tooth, it isn't just a symptom, it's a clue, a lead that tells us something bigger is going on.
I mean, you've probably been there. That moment. You're just eating something, or maybe just poking around with your tongue. And you feel it. That little bit of give. A movement that just should not be there. It sends an instant alarm bell ringing in your head, doesn't it? It just feels wrong, because a permanent tooth is supposed to be, permanent. Exactly. And that feeling? That's your body sending you a signal. That little wiggle is the very first piece of evidence in our investigation. It's a message that the whole complex system holding your teeth in place is a little off balance. So our job today is to follow these clues and figure out what's really happening under the surface. All right, so when a dentist finds a mobile tooth, their whole investigation immediately zeroes in on three primary suspects. Think of this as our list of the usual culprits. We need to either rule in or rule out. So, who is in our lineup of prime suspects? First up, we've got inflammation, usually from some kind of infection. Second, we have a loss of the actual bone that's meant to support the tooth. And third, there's something called occlusal trauma, which is really just a fancy way of saying your bite is putting way too much stress on that tooth. Let's interrogate each one, shall we? Our first suspect, inflammation. I want you to think of the ligament that wraps around your tooth root like a high-tech suspension system. It's this whole network of tiny fibers that both locks the tooth in place and acts as a shock absorber. But when an infection gets in there, that system gets all swollen, and those fibers start to break down. Without that firm suspension, the tooth starts to wobble. Simple as that. Okay, next up is reduced bone support. Now, this one's a bit of a longer, sneakier game. If the ligament is the suspension, the alveolar bone is the foundation. And severe gum disease or periodontitis can slowly just eat away at this bony foundation. So over time, there's literally not enough structure left to hold the tooth securely. It becomes loose, kind of like a fence post sitting in soft, eroded dirt. And our final suspect, occlusal trauma. Now, here's what's so wild about this one. It can happen to a tooth with a perfectly healthy foundation and suspension system. If the forces from your bite are just too heavy or they're hitting at a weird angle, which often happens from habits like grinding your teeth or clenching in your sleep, it's just like taking a tiny hammer and tapping that fence post over and over and over again. Eventually, even the most solid post is going to loosen up in its socket. So we've got our three suspects lined up. How does a dental detective actually figure out who the real culprit is? Well, this is where the clinical investigation kicks in, gathering every piece of available evidence to nail down the diagnosis. The evidence really comes from two places. First, there's the scene of the crime, the mouth itself. A dentist can literally feel the tooth move when you bite down. That's a sign called fremitus. They'll also look for clues like wear facets, these tiny flat spots on your teeth that show where they're grinding way too hard. But the really deep clues, those come from the forensic report, the x-rays. These can show all the hidden damage, like a ligament space that's stretched out or patterns of bone loss that point a finger directly at one of our suspects. And boom, this right here is a perfect example of what we're talking about. Look at this radiograph. You can see plain as day how the level of the bone has just dropped. Instead of hugging right up against the necks of the teeth, it's pulled back, leaving the roots exposed and with a lot less support. This is a classic textbook sign of a reduced periodontium. That's our suspect number 2, loss of bone support, caught red-handed. Okay, now this is a super crucial distinction that investigators have to make. Is the mobility just increased but stable? Or is it increasing over time? See, increased mobility can sometimes be an adaptation. The body has kind of widened the ligament space to cope with new forces, but the situation has stabilized. Increasing mobility, on the other hand, well, that's an active crime scene. It means damage is happening right now, and we need to intervene pretty quickly. All right, once all the evidence is in and the primary cause has been identified, it's time to solve the case. And that means putting together a logical treatment plan that's designed to bring back stability and function. And solving the case follows a really logical path. Step 1, you got to put out the fire. That means treating any inflammation or infection first. Step 2 is all about the mechanics, adjusting the bite to get rid of those destructive forces. If the tooth still needs help, step 3 is to splint it, basically connecting it to its neighbors so they can help out. And extraction, that's always the final option, a true last resort.
Now, if we do need to splint, the goal is actually simple, but it's really powerful. This quote nails it. The whole point is to decrease movement in all 3 dimensions. Think of it just like putting a cast on a broken arm. The idea is to completely immobilize that tooth, front to back, side to side, and up and down, to give it the stability it needs to either heal or just function without causing any more trouble. And one of the most effective ways to do this is with something called cross-arch stabilization. Honestly, it's like a team-building exercise for your teeth. By connecting teeth on one side of your mouth to teeth on the other side, you create this much wider, much more stable base. This new team can now work together to fight off all those tipping and twisting forces that a single wobbly tooth could never, ever handle on its own. It's pretty genius. And these solutions can be temporary or they can be permanent. Over on the left, you're looking at a provisional splint. Often it's just a wire bonded to the teeth. It's like a temporary brace, to give some support while things are healing, or even just to test if stabilizing the tooth is going to solve the problem. Then on the right, you've got a much more permanent solution, a fixed bridge. This permanently joins the teeth together, getting you long-term stability and restoring your ability to chew for years to come. So we've followed the clues, we've identified the culprit, and we've laid out the plan to solve the case. The verdict is in, and you know what? It's a positive one. We're working toward a stable, comfortable, and totally functional outcome. And that right there is the key takeaway, the whole goal of this entire investigation and treatment. It isn't just about stopping a tooth from wiggling. It's about restoring the entire system to a state of healthy balance so you can keep your teeth and use them comfortably for a long, long time. So a wobbly tooth is so much more than just a little annoyance. It's a really important signal from your body. It's a clue that's asking, begging to be investigated. So the real question is, when your body sends you these signals, are you ready to listen and solve the mystery?